Oh, hello, it's your boy Gomi, and we are going to be going over the co-main event of UFC 284. We're going to be going over the interim title bout between Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett. First and foremost, this is a great fight. I think this is a very fun fight, and I think this fight makes perfect sense as a number one contender fight. I don't know why it's an interim title. I don't know why you want to put a title on the line. I don't think either of these guys' resumes really should get a belt, to be honest with you, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's get into it now, because this is going to be technically a title fight. I did give it the fancy title fight graphic in the background, but yes. Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. This is going to be a featherweight interim title fight. Going into the tail of the tape, Yair Rodriguez is going to be 30 years of age. He is going to have a record of 15 wins, 3 losses, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. He is 5'11" in height, fighting out of the orthodox stance, a 71-inch reach advantage, a 0.83 takedown average, a 50.21% significant strike accuracy, which is very impressive for how he fights. He is the -165 favorite, with significant wins over Jeremy Stephens, the Korean Zombie, and Dan Hooker. Notice how I did not put Brian Ortega there, because that shizer doesn't count. Now, Josh Emmett, he's going to be the senior, 37 years of age, a record of 18 wins and 2 losses, 6 knockouts, 2 submissions, 5'6" in terms of height. Short guy, short guy, not gonna lie. I thought he was a lot taller than that. He's going to fight out the orthodox stance, 70-inch reach disadvantage, 1.04 takedown average, a significant strike accuracy of 39%, and he is a +140 underdog with significant wins over Calvin Kattar, Dan Ige, Shane Burgos, and Michael Johnson. Now, what is my problem with this fight? Well, let's look at Yair Rodriguez. His last win was, that's not a win. No, that's not. He didn't. That, like, literally, Ortega just popped his shoulder out. They didn't even fought. We didn't even see anything. I'm not counting that. Okay, what was his next fight? Almost a year before that, he had a really good fight against Holloway. Very good fight. He did the best against Holloway next to Volkanovski, honestly. But at featherweight. But he lost. He lost. He went to the hospital. He got hurt really bad. He showed massive improvements. He showed he still absolutely has it, and he's very impressive. But he lost. Okay, what was this last win before? 3 years ago against Jeremy Stephens. Who hasn't beat Jeremy Stephens at this point? Gamrot beat him, Kattar beat him, Yair beat him, Zabit beat him, Aldo beat him, Emmett beat him. Oh, okay, here we go. He's got a win there. Yeah, all right, well, let's see what else he has. Oh, no contest against Stephens. All right, really good win against TKZ. That was one of the best fights of all time. Amazing, legendary. Oh, that was in 2018. And then he got knocked out by Frankie Edgar. Why is this an interim title fight? Why is he still number 2? And then Josh Emmett. Honestly, his record is very good at otherwise. Burgos, Ige, Michael Johnson, Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens, but still, whatever the Jeremy Stephens still pretty. No, never mind. But yeah, my problem is he virtually lost that. That was almost a borderline robbery. I'm sorry. I heavily gave that to Kattar, and we're gonna reward that with a title fight. Nah. This should be a number 1 contender fight. First and foremost, I'm sorry if you disagree. That's just my honest opinions. But if we were to remove the title aspect of this, I think it's a great fight. I think it'll be a very, very fun fight. Both are very good fighters. I just wish we could have saw Yair actually fight Ortega, to be honest with you. But, oh well, I digress. Honestly, I feel like, Josh Emmett should have fought Arnold Allen. I'm not going to lie. Or even Max. Regardless, Yair Rodriguez, looking into him and how he is, Yair Rodriguez, as you all know, is a very flashy fighter. He does a lot of very flashy, almost borderline unnecessary kicks and spins and strikes like that. Now, he's like a mini Zabit. He's not as flashy as Zabit, but the one thing I think in his benefit is he doesn't gas out like Zabit does. I've seen him kind of gas in 3-round fights, like for example his fight against Stevens, he was starting to gas. His fight against even though it was only 2 rounds, he honestly thought he was kind of gassing against Frankie Edgar in only the 2nd round. But and his fight against Alex Caceres, I can never say his name, he kind of seemed like he was gassing out, but then in his actual 5-round fights, he looked very good, particularly against Max. As I mentioned, his fight against Max, he looked very good overall. Like, even towards the end, I didn't feel like he was gassing, and he was still throwing some pretty flashy shizer. And then his fights against Chan Sung Jung. This is also why I will never, ever count out Yair Rodriguez. Never. Granted, that was the perfect person to do that against because TKZ has no defense whatsoever. So at flashy upwards elbow at the last second, that makes sense to use it against him. But it's still very impressive on Yair's part nonetheless. Very crafty and a very tricky striker. His grappling is not horrible too. He did get massively out-wrestled by Holloway, but his grappling is not horrible. It's not. It's definitely his weakest aspect. It tires him out more, but his striking is very good. One thing he always struggled with was power in his punches. I really felt like his punches never really had a lot of power. It's really his kicks. They were very effective, make no mistake. He was able to absolutely obliterate Jeremy Stevens with those. Almost got the TKO on him. Hurt him bad with kick. Oh my god, his record. He hurt him bad with kicks to the body and kicks to the leg. I thought he did a magnificent job with that, but his punches were never really there. But after what we saw from the Holloway fight, I feel like he really upped the strength in his punches because he was knocking Holloway's head backwards on a lot of shots, and I was very impressed with that. He was able to take a lot of Holloway's punishment, and he's very smart in stopping Holloway's signature blitz, where he's able to just unload an unlimited onslaught against the opponent. Now, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is not someone I've always been super high on, to be perfectly honest with you. He is a power puncher. Now that Jeremy Stevens, believe it or not, he is honestly the hardest hitter at featherweight, believe it or not. He has the most knockouts at featherweight, I believe, or one of the most knockouts at 19. Lots of talks of Jeremy Stevens, by the way. Who the fuck is that guy? But now I say it's Emmett just by how he's able to stiffen people. His power in his right hand is pretty sickening. What he was able to do to Michael Coinflip Johnson was nasty. He was able to really badly hurt Burgos. Why doesn't they have the result on here? I don't know why the result's out there, but he's able to really badly hurt Burgos. And one thing that I thought was very, very good on his aspect was not just his right hand, but his left counter hook is what he used to knock out Ricardo Lamas. And that just tells me this dude's got power. He's got a ton of power because he has that kind of old school, I believe it was a wrestling background, where they basically have that big overhand right, but he's smart about it and he doesn't use that as his exclusive weapon. Now, despite him beating Calvin Kattar, which is a very good win to be able to beat Calvin Kattar, that's the thing. He didn't do that great against Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar seemed to be the more ingenuitive striker, and I don't think he's even half as ingenuitive as Yair Rodriguez. His spinning back elbow, he landed it on Josh Emmett, really badly hurt him, and if you look at the end of the fight, he was badly cut up. Very much props to Josh Emmett for being able to take those shots from Calvin Kattar. He has like 10 first round finishes, and like Calvin Kattar is no joke. Josh Emmett was able to eat all that, and he's able to deliver a lot of like vicious onslaughts. Granted, it was blocked by Calvin Kattar's superior Philly shell. Yair does not have that. Yair does not have that defense that Calvin Kattar does. So I could see Yair getting clipped bad by Emmett. And he has those rushes where it's not unintelligible. Like, it's not like sloppy. It's very good. His rushes where he starts throwing hooks after hooks, it's very good. It's just that it's wild and it's kind of chaotic. But that's a very good aspect of Josh Emmett that I feel he will use very well against Yair Rodriguez. Yair was able to stop Max from doing that same thing in his fight, But Max, I don't feel, has the power Emmett does. I don't know how Emmett's cardio is going to be. Like, he's very good in 3-round fights. I've never seen Emmett gas out. I like to mention that. He's very good in 3-round fights. But he didn't look amazing against Cater in the 4th and 5th rounds. I wonder how he's going to handle against Rodriguez, who's definitely going to push the pace more. Rodriguez is going to pull out more crazier and trickier stuff. He's going to throw out whirling thunders, spinning back kicks. He's going to throw out some crazy stuff. And I know he's going to look at that Cater fight, and he's going to bust out that elbow nonstop. I feel it's a very good fight. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Yair Rodriguez. I'm going to lean a little bit more towards him. I don't think it's going to be a finish. I think it's going to be a decision, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think Emmett's too tough to get taken out. But I could absolutely see a world where Emmett just flatline KOs Yair Rodriguez. He's got a lot of power to him, but Yair could throw some tricky stuff. TKZ is a tank. Only really, like, Volkanovski was able to put away TKZ, but Yair landed the perfect last-minute, last-ditch shot, and I would like to stress that was not a lucky shot. That was precision. If Yair pulls out something like that, he could absolutely finish Emmett. Overall, very exciting fight. I'm very much looking forward to this. And whoever wins this fight is going to fight Volkanovski next. And I think both are going to be fun fights for Volkanovski. I'm going to lean towards him, but I think both would be very fun fights. I love to see him fight a very tricky fighter, Yair Rodriguez. And then I love to see him fight a power hitter like Josh Emmett. Because to be fair, Volkanovski, I don't think he's really fought like a super hard power hitter. And he's never fought anyone as chaotic as Yair. Like, I really wanted the Beat to fight Volkanovski, honestly, or even Max Holloway. We never got that. We never will get that. Yair is going to be the closest thing. So, overall, let me know what you think of this fight in the comment section. Let me know who you're rooting for. And be sure to like and subscribe for more coverage on UFC 284. This has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.